Frodo Baggins, the one who has seen the eye. Oh, wait, that's a different narration. No Man's Sky, yes, we are doing No Man's Sky. Now, there is going to be a massive No Man's Sky update. The one update to rule them all, I am sure. That's how much confidence I have. 2024 is going to be a massive year for No Man's Sky, Hello Games, and what comes after that. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to speak about today. So let's get right on into today's video. 2024, our journey continues. Ladies and gentlemen, will you look at that? All right, let's take the obvious thing first. The massive freaking new spaceship center frame looks amazing. It has all the bells and whistles. It looks gorgeous. It is amazing. And there's a lot of different things about this spaceship, believe it or not, that you've actually seen before. So first of all, let's look at the writing at the very front of the ship. Where have we seen this before, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we have seen this in the Anomaly. Would you look at that? Now, to add insult to injury, literally, now that we know what we're looking for, they're dotted all over the Anomaly. Everywhere you look, I am seeing these symbols. Absolutely amazing that these have been there for years, and nobody, including myself, has even realized what they are. Also, don't you think that this massive structure actually looks a lot like the new types of ships that are coming in the 2024 update? Let me know what you think about that one, but they look very similar. Okay, so this next part comes courtesy of Captain Steve, because he made a speculation video yesterday, and I think he's absolutely spot on, 110%. I'll have a link to that video in the video description down below. Go and show him some love for this, because his speculation is this. If you look at the far distance in the background there, you can see what can look like a couple of flags, and it looks like a racing icon. It really does. Now, if you pair that with the ship type and the way that this new ship looks, doesn't it look virtually 100% identical to the game Wipeout? For those who are old enough to remember the game. I mean, I remember having fond memories of Wipeout, and it looks very, very, very similar to that. Now, with that and the racing icon, does that mean that we're going to get Wipeout style racing in No Man's Sky? Maybe where you're against a computer and you have to, like, you know, fly through certain areas of space in like a certain time, and you'll have all different markers you need to fly through. Or maybe it's on the ground where you're hovering and there's like actual built tracks by Hello Games. Maybe you can do it with your friends. Maybe you can, you know, try and find a group online to just randomly put you in and you just start racing other players. I mean, how amazing would that be? So does that also mean then that the multiplayer aspect for this 2024 update will be upgraded and finally fixed? Because if they're ambitious enough to attempt to do this, and if it is like Captain Steve has said, and the way that I'm speculating about this, does that mean that multiplayer would finally be more or less patched and finished, and maybe the multiplayer aspect is the same multiplayer servers that they're going to be running their new IP on, Light Nor Fire? So if they're using those servers with No Man's Sky instead of Azure, then maybe everything's going to be fine with multiplayer now. But still, that's just a pipe dream. But nonetheless, I think Captain Steve is right. I think that this is going to be something to do with racing in kind of like a Wipeout fashion-esque type game scenario, whether that be in space or on land on Hello Games on built like maps, if that makes sense. But still, very, very exciting stuff. Okay, so the very next thing I want to speak about, ladies and gentlemen, is this. What the frick is this? This isn't a circle, you know, space station core. It's a bleeding cube. What has gone on with this? Finally, will we unravel the secrets of the space station core? Will we eventually find out, after all of this time, figure out what is actually going on with the bloody thing? However, just sitting back on my chair here, I'm looking at it, and now, you know what? I think I've actually figured it out. I think I've really figured it out. Now, let's see if I'm going to be right about this when 2024 update does drop. But this is what I think. I think when we put our station overrides into the central computer, that's when the whole space station changes to something like this. So I think prior to you doing that, all the space stations, or at least the one that you're in, still looks like the old model. But when you put in your station override into the console, it will accept it, and then it will transform said space station into these procedurally generated ones. That's the space station type Bs. Now, we've seen something similar mechanical wise with the autophage camps. I mean, you think about it. You need to activate the autophage camps with your device in order to actually see them. So maybe this is running off a very similar mechanic. Who knows? But I generally believe it's something to do with that. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, whilst we are talking about space stations, obviously we have these new procedurally generated ones, and they look freaking amazing. But will all space stations then look like a variant of the new ones, or will there be like a 50-50 mix where we still have the original space stations unless you choose to convert it over to a new one? Or will we just run into all these new ones and the old ones and will be a thing of, good memories and the past? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Personally, what I would like to think is that these procedurally generated space stations populate 80% of the universe. With 10%, you've got the pirate space stations, and then 5% of the original space stations, because I don't want them to go completely, because I do like them. And then we have 5% of the, abandoned space stations, the ones that are really difficult to find unless you know where they are. I think that's where our space stations that we have right now are going to be in that category. Unless you know where one is, then it's going to be really difficult to find one, but they are still out there. I think that would be a very, very, very good mix. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is everything I've got for you today. It's going to be a massive update for No Man's Sky. It really will. I mean, just for the space station aspect alone, and we can, see that they've got a lot planned still for 2024 No Man's Sky. I feel like they're going to then, start tying up loose ends with the game and start making, a more replayable experience for later game, end game users, which is really, really nice because they don't want to, go into this light no fire game when they've still got so much to do with No Man's Sky. So I think they're going to start really hammering updates for 2024, and it's going to absolutely transform the game in such a massive way. I really do believe that. But let me know your thoughts. Again, comment section down below. Place to put them. You know what to do. Anyway, that's everything from me here today. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.